Oh, little Sony, your lens may be short. That doesn't mean you couldn't dunk a basketball. I believe in you. So today I want to talk about some things that surprised me about this little guy, the Sony ZV1. We're on it right now, obviously.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Before we get started, do we have a life hack confirmed moment? No. Other hand. Oh, God. It doesn't look any wider. That's basically handheld. I have this 15-foot pole. It does nothing. Or how's that? Oh, look at us. Look at the world. So, we got the life hack. We got the wide-angle adapter called a selfie stick. It's working. It's working. Who needed a wide lens? I'll be honest with you. I changed my mind a lot. I want the wider lens so I can hold it in my hand and it's pocketable, but I do actually prefer like a 24mm length extended away. It looks ridiculous. People looking at me like, what the hell is that guy doing? I don't like when the arm is in the shot like that. So I try to... There's no way to do it. Is this good content? So I want to talk about some things that surprised me. And the first thing, I got a list. Color science. I'm impressed. Sony has somehow revamped their whole lineup. I put this side by side with the Olympus the other day. I could barely tell them apart. I think we now have Fuji level colors in here. It's fantastic.
What's up, man? What's up? What are you doing?
Good. See, he wouldn't do that if I just had a little thing. So I guess it makes it more fun, but just let me be discreet about it. This thing looks ridiculous. Is there any way to see me in a... You're just seeing the deals on pizza. The reflection is there, but now I look really stupid squatting with really short shorts. That's not advised. That is not advised. Now, we may not be getting Philip Bloom colors right now. I took some of his tips. I slowed the autofocus down a little bit. We're at normal and standard instead of fast and jumpy. And he grades with the HLG, so let's just try that. But right now we're in standard with just saturation, sharpness, and contrast down 1. And it looks pretty phenomenal. I don't even need to grade it really. I could. I want to. In fact, that's what I would do to it, should I desire. But really, you don't need it. Same with the Olympus. I can have it straight out of camera. That's one thing I don't love about my Panasonic G9. Now using it, after using the Olympus, it's like, straight out of camera? Not really. Vlog? I can convert that into a usable image, but not so much the natural. So I will play around with that in the future. Look forward to that fun. But let's switch to HLG and see, can we grade that? Do you see a difference? I smell cinnamon buns. What a time to be alive. So we're in HLG. Let's grade it. Fuji style, of course. I'm back. It's a camera. It's designed for vlogging. Designed for vlogging because it has such a wide angle lens. It just gets everything. No, I'm with YouTube. YouTube? Camera Conspiracies? Take your legs? Not today, but another time. I will take a picture of your shaved legs, I promise. I promise. Things are getting weird today, my friend. It's all because of this stick. I regret every moment. How's it handling the sunshine? It looks really dark on the screen with this HLG. What's happening? Am I underexposed? Oh, I forgot to say, we're in 1080p today because I wanted to see that. It's a slightly less crop, not much. I'll do a little test to show you the crop from 1080p to 4K to steady shot, stabilization. 1080p right now, steady on. So digital stab is with us. Is it stable? Could we go without it? Let's just try it. We have to. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, the possibilities. It could be stable on this pole. I feel like we're a gimbal, basically. I gotta tell you, this brings me into the second point. I actually like Sony menus. They're usable. Everything I need. There's several custom buttons, maybe like 5 of them, 6 maybe? No, don't quote me on that. But everything I need. EV compensation, switch the picture mode, and then the quick menu button. It has everything else. So it's fantastic. And then within the giant menu system, you can make your My menu for like 4 pages of glory. You have everything you need. I can switch everything pretty quickly. It's not perfect, but it's decent. I'm actually a little nervous that my grading has ruined this camera, so I'm gonna switch back to standard and the active steady just in case that got strange. All right, we're back in the more stable mode with digital, and that brings me to image quality. I gotta tell you, it's fantastic. As I face the sun, oh no, there's a tree. How's the slower autofocus? The image quality looks good. That 1-inch sensor, it rivals Micro Four Thirds for sure. Same basic thing. It's only, Micro Four Thirds is a 2 times crop. 1 inch is only 2.7. It's not much more. It's kind of similar, the Micro Four Thirds to APS-C, almost, kind of. It's a little more. Although with this digital stabilization, that brings it down a notch to smartphone territory. But I don't mind being there. I don't mind being there. I'll do a test soon. I may have a secret camera coming that might be APS-C and its brother full frame. So we'll see. We'll test it against, but I have a feeling Sony 1-inch is as good as Micro Four Thirds, probably better than some APS-C, and then it will crumble to most full frame, but not all. There's a good chance the RP is worse than this. With the wrong ass lens, be careful. Now here's something terrible that surprised me in this, and that's the battery life. I got 35 minutes of footage in 4K before the battery dropped. It's partly probably because of the slow motion mood. The hell was that? Even though it was only 2 seconds 480p and then 2 seconds of 960p, it takes like a couple minutes to process that. You basically have to film it for 2 seconds and then watch it back in camera as it processes. There's no way to stop it. So that takes some juice. And the thing, 35 minutes, that's one vlog? That's not even long enough for a vlog. And to switch the batteries, we have to take the tripod off. Why'd it get so quiet? Is it a ghost town? Is it because of the virus? But Sony's obsession with size, keeping these cameras so tiny, makes putting a decent battery in impossible. If they would have just bigged it up a little bit, I wouldn't mind if it's a little heavier, a little bigger for a nice big battery. Sony V battery in there, can you imagine? Is that even what they're called? No. Sony ZV1, it's designed to have it in there. Not having a touch screen in there, it was so funny. I turned on the camera and there's this big orange thing. I forget what it was, for the date or something. So you naturally inclined to tap on it, nothing. And then Sony in the corner is like, no, you press the button, the physical button on the side. Sorry about that. You gotta press the button and tap it in an archaic, caveman-like fashion. It's embarrassing that in 2020, the only thing you can do is tap to focus, and none of your menu items. I don't mind using the dials, but for the Panasonic, it's nice to skip ahead. You're skipping ahead in line at the bank. Now the last thing that surprised me and shocked me, the 480 frames per second mode, it used to be 4 seconds of recording, apparently. I think, who said that? Max Yuryev, I think. He said the older RX 100 Mark V or something could do 4 seconds of that. And now we're back to 2. It really does suck because it cuts me off every time. If I want to run across the street, I gotta press it like as I'm running, and then it still doesn't let me cross the street, just somewhat. It's bullshit. There used to be a time in the vlogs where I actually had to cross the street, and that's why I would do that. And now I just do it for the fun. I actually have to be on that side. Why did my hair decide to split in the wind like I'm some 1800s mathematician? This bullshit. Oh, we're also at -3 EV. Did I say that today? That's what Philip Bloom would want. One thing I'm not loving about that slow motion mode, you have to touch the camera to lock focus. I can't reach it, so I can't ever have this kind of slow motion. Oh my God. I have to be like right here, so that's what I do. I tap it and then run, and it's never actually in focus because remembering it is impossible. And then the 960 frames, that cuts in even more. So even with this lens not wide enough, I'm getting around it. It's a little bit weird how far it is away and how much of a spectacle I'm creating, but you can work around it. But the low battery life really hurts. And then having the tripod mount blocking the door, so every time you change the battery, you gotta unscrew it. That's a bitch. But other than that, not a lot of deal breakers on this thing. I want it. I can't go back to the GoPro now. I can't go back to tiny sensor cameras. I just can't do it. The idle cam, I don't know. The idle cam was much better than the GoPro. But now that we have 1 inch, that's basically micro four thirds in its abilities. In a tiny package, all in one lens, I could zoom on things. Fantastic. How's the tone today? This far away, it should be less than usual, but still good enough. I found when it's like this close, it's almost too much tone. It's amazing. Wow. You don't know what tone is? What are you, a noob? I think I might make a video on it. I get that question a lot. Like, the hell is tone? Get with the times. I also love that you can turn the camera on by flipping out the screen, although you have to flip it back so the back panel is protected. If you just close the screen, it doesn't turn off, which is a good thing. Smart design, Sony. So you just flip it out, it's on, boom, you're ready to go. Fantastic. A lot of people have been asking how it is in the low light. It's pretty dark in here. It's pretty dark. We're up at the window now. Window light diffused and not even direct sunlight. Don't look at my mess. I got a lot of stuff around here. What the hell are you doing, Sony? Stop backlighting my ass. I find it falls apart pretty fast in the shade. It's doable. You could film stuff in your house. Still eye tracking me. Battery looks like it's full. That whole video did nothing. Oh my God, my hair. Oh God. Oh wow, that got worse fast. They didn't have my package. I thought I was getting a bunch of cameras. All I got was groceries. So I'm gonna leave. Let me know. Actually, should we compare something? What can we do? If you had to guess, which one is the Canon EOS R and which one is the Sony ZV1? Is there really a difference? The colors look so similar in the screen. I think Sony has just basically re-engineered Canon colors now. And they've done a phenomenal job. Can you guess? I probably should have stopped one of them down so it would be slightly less obvious, but we got the Sony on the right, Canon on your left. That's what it looks like in the studio. Both auto white balance, and usually with this light, cameras freak. My camera is the Panasonic, you should see that thing. Can we do it? I ran out of SD cards. I have too many cameras. What was that noise? Oh, I broke it. Do you see a huge difference though? Is it like, oh, there's the full frame. We're at like 21 mils there. Digital state off on both. I didn't handicap anything. We did good. That's at 1/60th, that's at 1/50th. That's a problem. That's user error on that one. Let's friendly motion blur our lives. There we are. I'll stop down the aperture just to be fair. 4.5-ish. We're 4.8-ish equivalent tone. Here we are. Full frame versus 1 inch. $700 versus $75 million Canadian. Canon R is not that cheap. Expensive, I mean. Oh boy. We're both in 1080p, and I've noticed that the battery, it still says it's full, but I think 4K is where it drains. 35 minutes of footage, I bet you get 2 hours in 1080p. So if it looks the same as 4K, in fact, right now we're in HD, I'm gonna switch to 4K. I already have that guy beside me, 4,000 megapixel zits in his face, mainly the nose region. That's embarrassing. Me, on the other hand, I'm 1080p glory skin. Welcome to us. Now we're in 4K on the Sony. I was recording the mic through the Canon, so now we're on amazing internal audio. But did we see a difference? Did we see it crop in? So let's do a quick test. This was me in 1080p. This is what the crop is. Now we switch to 4K. This is how much it cropped in. And now we're gonna switch to active steady mode on. How much more does that crop? The answer is way too much for our own good. But here we are, and I think that's about it for today. Who won the battle, full frame or little Sony boy? They've impressed me. Everything is usable. I kind of want it. I would trade my GoPro in for it in a heartbeat. With a heartbeat, you can have part of my heart, 30%. It'll regrow. I'm gonna go subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you later.